We announced the signing of Robert Sanchez, who got confirmed today. We have some interesting news surrounding potential investment up to the tune of over 500 million. We talk all things Michael Olise as he's agreed personal terms and we've made a verbal bid. We have signed Brazilian sensation and Deivid Washington out from nowhere. So my friends, tons of things to break down. If you guys are loving the business we're doing, if you're excited by the club right now, if you're happy with this window, my friends, hit that like button. Let's go crazy with it. Share your thoughts and opinions, and without wasting any more time, this morning Robert Sanchez has finally completed his 20 plus 5 million add-on move to sign for us, and he signs on a 7-year contract. Anyway, here's what Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winsley had to say after this deal, and they said, "We're very pleased to welcome Robert to Chelsea, and he adds further quality to our goalkeeping unit. Robert has repeatedly proved himself in the Premier League and has been capped by his country. We are excited to watch him work with Mauricio and his coaching team during the season ahead." Now, in Robert Sanchez's interview, he mentioned things about his game, how he likes to train, and some of the players that he knows already, discussing his nice relationship with Levi Cole at Brighton last season. So he definitely comes with the right type of personality. And for me, the most exciting development is that he signs for us and he works alongside his former goalkeeping coach at Brighton in Ben Roberts. And the reason why I make this point is that I feel like the relationship between the goalkeeper and his coach is a very serious and important one. Is it any surprise that Sanchez had his best seasons for Potter when he was working alongside Ben Roberts? Since Roberts left, Sanchez has had some high-profile mistakes in his game. He lost his place under De Zerbi, who prefers a different style of goalkeeper, and as last season was coming to an end, Sanchez basically omitted himself from first-team duties at Brighton. Before that though, this guy was being discussed as one of the next rising goalkeepers in the Premier League. The stats back everything up as well too. His post shots per goal conceded record was extremely high and some of the highest stats in the division. And there was a time where he was statistically the best ranked goalkeeper out of all the Spanish goalkeepers. So for me, you can't just lose this form and this type of quality overnight. I think something has to lead towards that. But regardless, he signs for us and I feel like he's coming to a much stronger and better environment. The reality is simply this: we couldn't sign a more high-profile goalkeeper because we had to sell Kepa first to fund that move, and there's no interested parties for Kepa. Whoever gave Kepa that contract basically has cemented Kepa's time at this football club, because I keep saying this guy will leave on a free because no club can afford him for those wages. Regardless, it's up to Sanchez now to take full advantage of his newfound opportunity, but I kind of feel like this guy could be quite a surprise for us for next season. So that is the announcement of Robert Sanchez. And now we discuss the exciting developments that broke late last night surrounding Michael Olise. Now, these reports came from French journalists and Fabrice Hawkins, plus other French media outlets, and they state that we have made a verbal offer of 30 million for Olise. Now, obviously, we want to strike a verbal offer first before coming with that official bid, because currently, Olise is out with an injury. He's had surgery, he is currently rehabilitating, and obviously, if you do sign him, you're expecting him to still continue his rehab behind the scenes, so you'll have to wait for him before he actually plays any first team minutes. But the club believes so strongly in his talent and his potential. Of course, our recruitment director and Joe Shields, this guy has had a heavy influence recently in helping us secure targets. He is a massive fan of Olise, and it's nice that the other guys at the top two also are in agreement that Olise could be the best option to sign in this current window. Now, as we know, Man City are following him as that Riyad Mahrez replacement, but based on all the reports, we are the overwhelming favourites. Olise prefers to sign for us. He's already agreed personal terms, and let's not forget the history he has with his football club. Like, he came through our academy. He spent substantial years of his development years at our club, and most importantly, he gets to stay in London with all his friends and his family. Now, it's believed that an offer of around 35 million could be enough to sign him, and there's been lots of conflicts around this release clause surrounding Michael Olise. And when they first signed him from Reading, in that long-term deal, there was a 35 million release clause applied inside. Since then, I think he agreed to a new 1-year extension which keeps his salary the same, but it's believed that there was no rise in this release clause at the time. So there's not much that Crystal Palace can do, especially when Olise is also currently out with injury. So I feel like this is an incredible market offer. How could you sign Olise for 35 million when this is the same Crystal Palace that sold Wan-Bissaka for over 50? And to be honest, I can't help but feel excited. We know that we have ambition to see him play as a 10 and also down that right hand side. And last season, this guy got 11 assists. And he's supplying man like Jordan Ayew, supplying guys like Edward. I mean, Eze was Crystal Palace's top scorer last season with 10 goals, and he's essentially a midfield player. So imagine how Olise's output could just go to ridiculous numbers playing for this high-flying, exciting, fluid, attacking Pochettino team. It gets you thinking quite a lot of things, my friends, and you can't help but feel we are starting to really develop this incredible project at this football club. Like, I remember in the 2020 summer, we went on a similar attacking spree with your Ziyech's, Havertz's and all these guys, but they had no long-term future because the way we played football literally changed up in like a few months after. We basically made most of these players absolutely redundant and we made big losses on all their sales. But this time it's different. We're doing things properly. We're actually signing the right profiles to support and complement the vision of football we're trying to produce at this football club. And it really feels like we're doing things properly and really rebuilding this team in the best way. And I haven't seen it since when Roman first took over during the 03-04 season. I mean, you got Mourinho to come in the season after to implement his ideas, philosophies to make us the Chelsea that you know us for today. So, my guys, in the comments below, are you feeling this excitement that I'm feeling? Am I just like getting too gassed or something? Or do you guys also see what's happening and feel this excitement? Please let me know in the comment section. Now, we've still got two big stories to discuss. So my guys, you can't go anywhere right now yet, because right now I'm going to discuss a new signing we're set to make in wonder kid Brazilian striker in Deivid Washington. Now, this came from nowhere, but there were rumors circulating at the beginning of this week, so it's nice that we've got this deal secured. Right now, we've agreed a fee with Sanchez to sign Deivid Washington. It's going to be 50 million euros upfront plus an additional 5 million euros. And once he's secured, the plan is to loan him straight away to Strasbourg. Now, Washington had major interest from Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and tons of interest from minor European clubs. And with him set to sign, we have completed a double raid on Santos for two of their most exciting talents in Angelo Gabriel and obviously himself. Now, my thing is, if the plan is to now loan him to Strasbourg, does this potentially mean that our efforts to sign Wahi now are over? Because we've refused to pay more than the 27.5 million bid, which is the final cap and limit that we placed on the player. But currently, there's now strong major moves now from Frankfurt and West Ham to try and sign the striker. And you'd expect these clubs to pay more money than our original bids. I mean, time will tell. Is there even a slight possibility that we'd sign Wahi and bring him to our first team instead of moving him out on loan? West Ham have now sold Scamacca to Atalanta, and there's talks that they're looking to replace him now with Armando Broja. So let's continue to watch the space. But currently, Santos fans aren't very happy that they're losing a talent like this, especially after their under-20 World Cup star Leonardo could be sold in the same window. They're thinking to themselves, how is Washington not taking the mantle? Because Washington is supposed to be one of their most exciting talents they produce in many, many years. And obviously, I need to give you guys a bit of analysis and context behind who he is and why there's so much hype and excitement around his game. Now, he only recently debuted at 18 years old, and that was back in April. He's so far made 16 appearances for Santos. He scored 2 goals. And as I said, he's considered one of Santos's best talents in recent years. Now, obviously, there's rawness to his game because he's only making his first steps into the men's game. But as you can see from the clips, this guy is a very, very strong ball carrier. He's got that mobility, and one thing I like too, he's got that body balance where he can change direction on the fly. And he matches that with lightning fast footwork, which makes it very hard to defend against. Now, it might not be a surprise, but as he was growing up, he played a lot of games as a left winger and a right winger before transitioning to a striker role. And in my opinion, I always love those strikers here that have had game time playing on the wings. Nicholas Jackson, for example, is a similar player where he played mostly as a winger before playing up front. And I feel like these type of strikers just have like a different type of source, a different type of ability. They make it harder for defenders, and that's because most defenders don't like tackling 1v1. But you're seeing some of this guy's exceptional tech. I mean, the first touch and control, that ability to dribble past multiple players, not just get at one man 1v1. And I think because he has so much confidence in his overall game, his first touch and his skill, this allows him to drop deeper, to link up, play back to goal, receive on the half turn, and then attack the spaces. So this allows him to roam out wide to be an outlet, and as I said, drop deeper, and of course running behind. So essentially, we are signing a specific type of striker. I'm going to make it like a bit easy and call it the Jackson role. A striker that's multi-dimensional, that has more focus on ball technique and skill. He's got the flair, he's got the confidence, he's got the mentality. It'll be very exciting to see him go to Strasbourg. I'd be curious to see if maybe Angelo might actually make the move there as well too, because these guys are also friends and maybe they could benefit actually playing together consistently throughout a season in Ligue 1. But my guys, it's very exciting. I mean, we're football fans. Like, all of us just love the thought and idea of that skillful, flairful Brazilian striker. I mean, you consider talents like Pires is going to be coming through in the next 2 years, plus the talents we're securing in Santos, Angelo and him. This is a new type of Chelsea, but we don't do business like this. And I'm fully here to see where we go in the future. So my friends, big story around Deivid Washington. Share your thoughts and opinions. And we now end things by discussing big news around potential investment talks to earn more money for the club. Now, this report came from the Financial Times, and they say that currently our owners are holding talks with Ares management and other investors to raise funds over an extensive stadium upgrade, as well as to add to our network of clubs. Ares management have invested 75 million already into Inter Miami in exchange for equity. They helped the finances involved in John Textor buying stakes in both Lyon and Crystal Palace. They have a ton of experience when it comes to investing in football clubs across the world. Currently, there are still final decisions being made in regards to building a new stadium in Els Court or redeveloping our existing stadium, but the plan is to hopefully acquire fundraising of around 500 million or more. Now currently, the latest updates in terms of stadium redevelopment plans, they're looking quite positive. Right now we are getting closer potentially to actually redeveloping Stamford Bridge. That's after a sale in principle was agreed for the sites of homes that of course hosted, military veterans near our stadium. Obviously we struck a deal with Stoll, the charity, and it has been reported that we have struck a deal with Stoll that deals with the military veterans. As you guys can see on screen, this is the plot of land that we're hoping to buy to actually allow us to potentially expand our stadium. It's believed that Stoll are happy with this deal as it secures their financial sustainability over the years, but a final decision is coming in the next few weeks. Like, we forget that our board does a lot more than just signing players. This is why they outsource by hiring sporting directors. We still have to wait for these official shirt sponsors. Let's hope it comes soon because our new kit is launched in under 2 weeks, but I've got a lot of confidence around this new board. But my friends, of course, exciting news is happening right now. I hope you guys are feeling the excitement too. But before I continue on, my friends, I released a big video discussing the top 5 players of this summer's pre-season. Of course, I put in a lot of effort and work. You guys know how I do things, but it seems like YouTube has been bugging out a little bit and it's not been getting promoted at all. So if you guys want to watch that video, it will be provided in the link below. So my friends, on that note, I am Nini FC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos very soon. Cool.